Even though the separatist cause wasn't originally all that bad, the Confederacy of Independent Systems was led by some of the most evil beings in galactic history. The sociopath Count Dooku, the genocidal maniac General Grievous, and the unfathomably greedy Newt Gunray are just 3 morally bankrupt separatist leaders who spring to mind. But believe it or not, none of these 3 were the most evil person in the CIS. Instead, it was a character you've probably forgotten about. It was a separatist council member by the name of Shu Mei. In this video, we'll be revealing what made her so horrible.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
Shu Mei was born on Castell, the homeworld of her species, the Gossam. Castell was located in the colonies, a wealthy region of space near the core worlds, and during the Republic's final centuries, it grew prosperous from trade in the Outer Rim. Business took a turn, however, when the Galactic Senate began taxing the Outer Rim free trade zones to curtail abuses by the Trade Federation. Castell's economy imploded and the planet entered a severe, decade-long economic depression. The situation on the planet grew so extreme that the Gossams began murdering each other in the streets over food, credits, and escape from their failing homeworld. The Commerce Guild saved Castell from this crisis. The guild approached the Gossam and offered them a deal. They would invest heavily in Castell and rebuild the planetary economy, and in exchange, the Gossam would sell them their services and virtually all property on the planet. Castell accepted, allowing the guild to pretty much buy up the planet and its inhabitants. The Commerce Guild rebuilt the planetary economy and gave Castell a second chance as a major manufacturing hub. In exchange, however, the Gossam workforce was effectively enslaved, and since the planet was now the property of the Commerce Guild, they were charged rent. Shu Mei was one of the lucky ones. Instead of being forced into manufacturing like many Gossam were, she got a job in Commerce Guild management. Her superiors soon took notice of her determination, business sense, and aggressive tactics, and Mei began to steadily climb the ranks. Her rise was bolstered by the widespread support of the Gossam people who trusted her to represent their interests, as she was one of the many Gossams who had lost everything during the repression. Their support, combined with Guild superiors' approval of her tactics, allowed Shu Mei to become the Guild's Chief of Property Resources. As Chief of Property Resources, Shu Mei was able to bring Castell out of its economic slump thanks to her aggressive business tactics and occasional deals with illegal organizations. In time, the Commerce Guild gave her a chance to repurchase Castell for the Gossam people, freeing them from the Guild's rule. Mei did repurchase the planet, but she didn't give it back to the Gossam people. Instead, she claimed Castell for herself and imposed even harsher demands on her people. Instead of being freed from servitude and the Commerce Guild's high rent rate, the Gossam people were subjected to even higher rent and constant demands of tribute, all to the benefit of Shu Mei, now the sole proprietor of the entire planet. This moral bankruptcy won her the respect of the Commerce Guild leadership, and after a few dozen of Mei's rivals met with mysterious fatal accidents, Shu Mei became the Presidente of the Commerce Guild. Now, that story alone illustrates just how terrible Shu Mei was, and we have many more like it to share. Before we get into them, however, we'd like to pay special attention to who Shu Mei was as a person, because it adds a whole new dimension to her actions. Shu Mei had a personal philosophy that wasn't just defensive of immoral actions or anything like that, but actively anti-moral. The concept of morality, Mei believed, was a waste of time, an inefficiency that, quote, encumbers and slows the appropriate development of a truly advanced society. Not only was she an openly terrible person, but she also had the goal to look down on people who weren't. Shu Mei didn't really see people as people. She saw them as financial assets to be manipulated in an endless quest for power and profit. The suffering of others, up to and including the entire population of her homeworld, not only didn't matter to her, but didn't really register with her either. To Shu Mei, other life forms, even sentient ones, were just property of another sort. The only being in the universe that she cared about was herself. But she wasn't insane or ignorant, she was just aware of how normal beings valued life, and she actively frowned upon it. That, perhaps, is what made Shu Mei more evil than her contemporaries. She was fully aware that what she was doing was absolutely terrible, and she prided herself for it. Xu Mei presided over the Commerce Guild during the Republic's final decade. Under her, the guild became even more aggressive and predatory. Many planets, especially mining worlds, suffered similar fates to that of Castell and were purchased by the Commerce Guild and its subsidiaries. Following the lead of the Trade Federation, the Commerce Guild also built a droid army during this period, the Punitive Security Forces, which is a sinister name if there ever was one. Xu Mei unleashed this army, largely composed of fearsome spider droids, against small mining worlds that she wanted to acquire, invading them and butchering native populations if they refused to join the guild. When miners on guild-owned worlds went on strike over abysmal pay and conditions, Mei unleashed the Punitive Security Forces against them too. But Mei wasn't reckless and was weary of being too liberal in the use of droid armies. In light of what happened to the Trade Federation after the Battle of Naboo, by and large, Mei only sicked armies on worlds beyond the reach of the Republic and usually kept it a secret when she did so. Within Republic space, Mei preferred to use political manipulation and covert assassination to get her way. Though she was careful to never break Republic law herself, Mei was willing to have anyone, from potential rivals to people who criticized her during board meetings, killed. Xu Mei was also politically savvy enough to get her way without using force. During elections on Celeste, she orchestrated a victory for a candidate friendly to Sorosub, a Celeste-based Commerce Guild subsidiary. This was despite the fact that said candidate was generally unpopular thanks to his proposal that the votes of Sorosub shareholders should count twice as much as those of normal Celestians. During the Separatist crisis, Mei also attempted to manipulate the people of Ansion into seceding from the Republic, something that would have led to the secession of 40 other allied star systems. Though Mei conspired with Count Dooku during the Ansion crisis, she again did this for her own personal gain. During the Separatist crisis, Mei and the Commerce Guild had taken advantage of secessions by buying up resource-rich worlds that seceded and giving them to the Castell treatment. She planned to do the same with Ansion and its allies. Xu Mei saw opportunity in the rise of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, but when Count Dooku offered her a spot on the Separatist Council, she initially only accepted in secret, not wanting to be charged with treason by the Republic. She kept the Commerce Guild's alignment with the CIS and its involvement in building the droid army a secret right up until the outbreak of the Battle of Geonosis. After that, the jig was up, and Xu Mei made her support for the CIS public, merging the Punitive Security Forces into the droid army. Xu Mei and her aide, fellow Gossam Cat Min, served on the Separatist Council throughout the Clone Wars, helping oversee the management of the CIS military. Mei was also heavily involved with the CIS Shadow Feed, the Separatist propaganda newsnet on which she made infrequent appearances. One of these appearances was shortly after the Battle of Basadro, an infamous clash over a Commerce Guild mining world in which Republic forces indirectly killed over 400 native miners. The Shadow Feed made its grand debut by putting the Republic on blast over this war crime, with Mei giving a statement condemning the atrocity. To again quote the Gossam herself, "The callous lack of value shown by the Republic in this exercise is appalling. Each of those miners represented a hard worker with invested skill levels. The synergistic aggregate of the village total was far beyond the worth of each individual." Note the words used there. Even as part of a propaganda piece, Mei didn't even pretend to care about the lives of the miners who died on Basadro. Instead, she criticized the Republic for wasting perfectly good labor. Mei spent a good chunk of the Clone Wars on Felucia, the Commerce Guild headquarters, where she had a number of industrial facilities, a huge droid army, and a personal stronghold. This meant that Felucia was a major target for Republic forces. For most of the war, the Separatist garrison there, combined with Felucia's hellish jungle environment, allowed the Confederacy to repulse Republic attacks on the planet. During the Outer Rim sieges, however, the Republic gained enough of an upper hand in the war to lay siege to Felucia, classing it alongside Seleucami and Megiddo as priority targets, what Supreme Chancellor Palpatine called the Triad of Evil. Slowly, the Republic began to gain ground on Felucia, forcing Xu Mei to evacuate her stronghold. Before she left, however, she ordered her troops to poison Felucia's water supply, a move that would render the entire planet uninhabitable within a few months. This wasn't the first time that the CIS had done this. They had done the same thing on a Trakan early in the war, wiping out 90% of the planet's civilian population. Felucia was narrowly spared from a similar fate by the intervention of the Jedi. After fleeing Felucia, Shumei rendezvoused with the rest of the Separatist Council, who were placed under the protection of General Grievous. Grievous relocated them to Utapau and then Mustafar. After everything we've talked about so far, we don't blame you if you've been waiting for this part. As a prize for getting to the end, here's a passage from the Revenge of the Sith novelization. Shumei, President and CEO of the Commerce Guild, looked up from her knees, hands clashed before her, tears streaming down her shriveled cheeks. "We were promised a reward," she gasped. "A handsome reward." "I am your reward," the Sith Lord said. "You don't find me handsome?" "Please," she screeched through her sobbing, "please." And then the blue-white blade cut into and out from her skull and her corpse swayed. A negligent flip of the wrist slashed through her column of neck rings, her brain-burned head tumbled to the floor. So, that's the story of Shumei, the most morally bankrupt person in the entire CIS. But what do you think? Would you like to talk about any other Separatist Council leaders? Let us know your thoughts and more in the comment section below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.